Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, and I wish that everyone could have heard the music in the countdown because I feel as if that was the beginning of church.
I never heard it before. I just saw that it was a minute and not 30 seconds, and I felt like we needed more time. So here's the thing is that like usually like we'd have maybe like 10 people sort of right at the beginning. But like I've lied so many times and like I keep trying like every Monday at 8, like I am here. Like whether you see me or not, I'm here. And I'm used sometimes like last week I was crying. I wasn't crying, but I couldn't get any sound. So
I,
yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, we're both really, really smart, accomplished women who live
Yeah.
our lives and do our taxes and get things done, but this,
This
whatever.
I just don't get it. Yeah, like I've got the time and I've got the content and I have the friends and I have the desire. Um, I can't figure out how to make it so my words go out and then go into somebody else's ear. For whatever reason, sound has really messed me up.
I think it's
So,
a challenge that you were meant to have. By the way, that shiplap behind you is giving me a bit of a boner.
oh, the what now? That's the what?
On your background,
Yes.
it's called shiplap. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't. It's called shipwreck. I
Yes.
didn't.
Oh my, this is so exciting to
I
me.
call it. I call it sticky wallpaper.
Yes, but it is that. It is
Yeah.
also that. Um, my friend's aunt is a designer, and I asked her, I said, I want my living room to feel kind of beachy. And she goes, oh, you should have shiplap wallpaper. I'm like, what the hell is that? And
Yeah.
she showed me, and it's pretty much what's behind you, and mine looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, well, I want to be able to have two different backgrounds,
Yeah.
right? Like so I kind of yeah, so that's why I love shiplap. I like
Shiplap.
that.
I'm so
Okay.
excited. I totally want the shiplap every time I'm on this
Yeah.
podcast. It's
I
going to be
was gonna
every day forever.
well, I was gonna say it's actually called a red curtain, but okay, so this this is so it's a live recording of what we cut down to about 20 minutes to make the podcast Over the Edge, which is will be streamed. So this, of course, can be a little bit less refined, which it is. I really take that home. So I'm just going to do like a little quick intro here, and then that will be for the podcast. And
Great.
then we can go back into shiplap if you like, whatever you like. This is like it's about you. It's whatever you want to talk about. So, my name is Miki Hughes. This is Over the Edge. It's a podcast about anxiety, and we have Lori Gibbs here today. She's a comedian, and I've got some of her stats here in a little video. So I'm just going to play this real quick. So that was supposed to be the whole screen because I'm really freaking good at stuff. How come I didn't? I should have brought props. I wish I did
I'm
now.
doing a guitar solo. Why are you talking?
Sorry, it was over. I didn't know how to make the clip longer. I don't even. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a way to do chat, but I
I'm
have.
going to
You
destroy
know what?
it.
I don't even care. I don't care.
That's what I do now. I play the guitar on tools.
Is that what you do? Is that so? How are you doing with everything?
Oh,
Those are my deep, insightful questions. So what's going on?
oh, okay. I'll be the deep, insightful answerer. Um, I don't know, like stuff.
Stuff things. So thank you. Um, you
Oh,
kept me
hi.
you kept me going during first lockdown with your Facebook posts and your social media. I
No
thought it was
way.
awesome. Yeah, about go dressing up to go and take the garbage out, and you're doing like macrame or your arts and crafts and stuff.
I am arts and crafts. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm
Yeah,
just doing it for myself.
yeah. That's why I do it. And people say, "Oh, you make me laugh through the pandemic." I'm like, that's just a side effect.
Yeah,
So I that's really good. I'm super happy with that.
it's
Uh,
really, really good icing on a really good cake, and cake's
yeah.
really better with icing.
Okay. How so you did at least you appeared to do very well during the first lockdown. Where are you guys at right now? Um, sorry, you're
Well,
in Edmonton, right? You're
no,
not in Edmonton.
I am on a secret island.
Shit.
It's called Calgary,
Okay.
and but
It's
no,
because You know what? I opened for you at the Edmonton Comedy Festival, I think, and that's why I thought that. So there, I wasn't making it up. I mean, I was, but I wasn't lying.
You were not, because I remember hanging out also outside of the casino where the Edmonton Yuk Yuks is, and giggling. And I didn't recognize you when you first came up, and so I just thought that you were really like a nice lady. And I was like, "Hey, hi!" And then someone's like, "That's Miki Hughes." I'm like, "Well,
Oh,
Miki Hughes from my Facebook? That
oh,
I feel like a kindred spirit to. That was her. I gotta go fix this."
I was a wreck. I was doing, I did stand-up comedy that night. I was nervous. I was surprised I, even made it to the right place. But I
It's
love that show. That was so much fun, and hanging out after was a lot of fun too.
yes.
Yeah. Do
No,
you,
I'm in Calgary, and the 2020 news is that yeah, we should stay in our house as much as we can. And so I'm like, cool. I like my house. Let's make it even more fun. And I'm glad I made you laugh, but to be completely honest, I was not doing well at all. And I was kind of faking it
yeah,
because that's what comedians do.
exactly. That
We're,
is what we do.
we're tortured and complicated and moody in our private lives, or some of us in our public lives.
I hyper produce 7 TikToks a day. Like I was
Mm,
just just making whatever content and just trying to keep myself going. It wasn't until I think what almost broke me is that some comedians like yourself were like posting pictures of yourself not having such a good day.
yeah.
And I remember that and I was like, wow, like you posted a picture like after you had cried and other people were doing it too. And I didn't have the guts to do it, but I was really moved because I felt like I was,
Oh, I'm glad. But can I just rewind for a second, and maybe you could reframe the way that you talk to yourself, because you said
oh,
you didn't have the. That's not what it was about.
oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a fan of being sweet to yourself. So when you're not sweet to yourself, I point it out like an annoying mother.
And people do. I call it a self-deprecating humor, but really, I mean, I'm doing a podcast about anxiety and talking to my friends about, their breakdowns and stuff. And I do have to say that it's selfish. Like I want to know how people are getting through it, what they're doing, what their thought process is, because I obviously, like I deal with a lot of anxiety. I deal with self-esteem issues. I'm a comedian. So it's what we do, right?
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
don't get
you're
into the club by being completely mentally healthy.
mm-mm. No, in fact, I believe that's a criteria. You're or that first green room you were in and you were like, oh my gosh, you're my people. I just thought comedians would have to be, that they weren't introverts. I just assumed that, right? I just assumed that they were confident extroverts. And I was really, really wrong. Like, really wrong.
It's so comforting how wrong.
Hmm. Oh, it is. Are you making the transition at all, or have you made the transition at all to doing like the Zoom shows? And
Mm, I did a couple. Um, we had an event when I was working at the radio station. It was such a cool event. So they have an LGBTQ group within the company, and they usually have a national event, and it's in every city, and everyone gets together and does something super fun, and then they share it with each other. And of course, nobody could go anywhere. So they said, we want to do something that we haven't done and make it a national event, but make it online. And we want you to be the host. And I was like, what? This is like, do you ever feel like super cool when you're included in a group, when you're like a straight white
yeah.
housewife in her 50s? And you're like, you guys think I'm cool enough to hang out with you? That would be amazing.
Oh my God.
So I did, and one thing that we didn't quite plan, well, we did, but we didn't know how it would come off, is that at the beginning, people could just pop on if they had anything to share. So
Hmm.
that's a really vague thing for people to say yes to. But eventually, somebody came on, and we just started talking, and it truly felt like it was just the two of us, even though this national event was on with I don't know how
Hmm.
many people. And she had a plant behind her, and I'm like, have you named your plant yet? Let's talk about that. And then like the next person would come on and I'd be like, where did you get your smile? Oh, your dad. That's insane. You light up a room. And it was like little connections. It was like riffing at when you're an MC. Um,
Mm,
but there wasn't pressure to be funny. So when you were funny, they were extra happy with you.
yeah.
Now, I loved doing it. And at the same time, when I hear Zoom show, I feel my stomach start to tighten. It's
Uh,
not weird.
I've been into three, like I haven't performed in them, but whenever I'm in, they get crashed. I don't know if that's a thing that happens all the time, but those happen to the ones that I was in. Like there was like a drummer and, like people will crash them. If they're not secure or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I find that, hey,
Nobody's
did you
sitting there
send?
behind me. Just
Yeah,
so you know, my son did not just come in looking for something at all.
no, okay. Well, you had that Mac tack behind you on the wall or whatever you call it.
Who else knows about MacTac? It's you.
What did you call the stuff behind me? Sorry, we had a conversation before we started
It's
because I
called,
didn't have set.
it's called
What's
shiplap wallpaper.
shiplap? Okay,
You're on a
that
ship and you're doing laps. Shiplap.
that's MacTac. I don't care what's the different size? Like because one came in a roll. Some of the times, if it's a square, it's MacTac. It's shiplap. If it's on a wallpaper roll.
If it's inside a cupboard underneath your mugs, it's MacTac. That's the only way you know for sure.
Oh my god, I could use this. I should send you the rest of the roll or use it for the bottom of my cutlery jar. That's
Why is there always a meal in there when you clean that out?
what is that? A meal?
Well, you take out your silverware and you go, how are there this many crumbs? I put these away clean.
You're like, does anybody want cereal? Who said we were out of cereal? Are you gonna finish that?
Bacon bits. Why are you doubting me?
That's right. It looks like we are having salad for dinner.
So
Surprise.
giving people a recipe. What's next?
What color of lockdown is Calgary in right now? Like I'm in Thunder Bay, so we're in gray. We're in full
You have
shutdown.
colors?
I think Canada has done a colored system.
Okay, if Canada has colors and I'm not aware of it at this stage,
You haven't heard of that like red stage or orange stage? What are you allowed to do? I'll tell you what color it is.
okay.
We'll play a game.
Okay. This is good. I'm learning something. I love learning. We cannot have any indoor or outdoor gatherings. If you live by yourself, I think you're allowed to have two people that can come visit you. But if you're not by yourself, you're not supposed to have anyone.
That's better than the first time because I live alone. And the first time it was you can't have gatherings, you can't go to other people's houses, and if you live alone, go fuck yourself. So they've incorporated that into this one, which is really nice. It sounds to me like you're in a red zone. Can you go and sit in a restaurant like minimal capacity?
I don't think restaurants. No, we can't right now.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like you're in a red zone. Sounds like you're in red.
I think I like the sound of red. It feels like red. It's Christmas.
It does, but then it goes. But thing was, it goes like from red because it's really pretty. It's like yellow and orange and red. And you're like, oh, it's a rainbow. And then gray. Gray is shut down. Gray is right after red.
And gray is not even technically a color; it's a shade. So that's why they really are saying "fuck you." It's gray.
No, and it's sad too. And they're like, there. This is you guys have done this to yourself. Gray. Yeah, I'm glad there isn't a black.
I know. And then you're like, but it's a group project. I tried really hard, but that Sandy never showed up.
Yeah. It's not like one of those
parties.
It's not like one of those things where you can like agree to disagree. Like you can't no, either like everybody has to buy into this or else it's a problem. Okay, well you do what you want to do. No, you have to too though. No. Like we all have to. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Don't you love it when people with different beliefs think that we're cowering in our houses and we're scared to do anything?
You know what? I am not estranged to people not buying into what my beliefs are. Like that's a normal thing for me.
Good point.
Which is normal. But the thing is, here, like your rights end where somebody else's begin. And this is really important because everybody does need to buy into this one. Like if you don't agree with me, and I've been pretty vocal and tried not to be abusive about it, but it's very, it's very close to me. Like, I live alone. I don't want to be in lockdown for the rest of the winter. It's going to be a long, cold winter. I don't want everything to be shut down for the whole time. Like, I want to, yeah, like I'm probably going to stay home anyway and not really socialize, but I want it to be a choice.
Yes, yes, of course. It's like I want to project people into the future, and like, let's just pretend for the sake of argument that in 5 years they say, guess what, you guys, we were totally full of shit about the masks. Turns out they didn't do anything. Okay,
who cares?
let's say that happened, and you are you going to feel like so great because you're like, I knew it, that's why I didn't wear a mask? Or are you going to say, you know what, not everybody was 100% sure, but we did it because how hard is it to put a piece of fabric on your face?
That's right. Well, and so if you put it on and you don't need to, you look silly, it's uncomfortable, it's, it's like, hey, I'm a sheeple. But if it turns out that we needed to wear them and you didn't, the consequence is like grandma dies. So, it's like I look silly versus that. I'm still gonna, even if just putting it on makes a little old man in Safeway feel a little bit better about life or walking near me, whether it's doing something or not. What a little thing to do to give somebody a little bit of comfort. Like, why not just do it? Why not just do it?
Do you know what you just did? You poured out a whole cup of tea of empathy, and I'm going to drink it now.
Oh, a whole cup of tea. Well, I don't want to. If it's yeah. Have you gotten like the old lady stare down like ever? Like before we had to wear masks and I wasn't wearing them, and I remember being in a store and just getting the stare down, like why do you hate me? Why are you not wearing a mask? Like I was like, and then from then on I wore a mask because I didn't want the look, but I wanted to, because she would have felt more comfortable.
Right? Exactly. And it's the oldest tale in the world, like walk a mile in someone else's shoes, right?
Yeah. And that was the day I stopped licking the apples and putting them back too, because maybe she wanted apples. I don't know. Like, you do what you
just leveled up, man.
Yeah. You change your behavior as the pandemic requires.
What? Are you adapting and pivoting to help with your survival? That's crazy.
That's right. Don't push the shopping cart with your teeth. Right? I got a whole bunch of them. I'll make a list up.
I just pelvic thrusted along. That's how I do it.
Okay. Yeah. See, you are ready for gray zone. You're absolutely ready. So when you were
say something about sheep, because the word sheeple annoys me.
Me too.
Because of how it's used, right? Like if it's used in a really funny joke, I might laugh, but it's not used that way. It's used to make people feel like shit. Well, guess who was watching a nature channel yesterday because she wasn't making soup or playing with hot glue for 2 seconds? They show this vignette of a sheepdog trying to put 2 herds of sheep together. If sheep were dumb, this dog could have had this done in 5 minutes. This dog was out for hours trying to outsmart these sheep because sheep are smart. This is what I learned yesterday. And at the end of it, he looks like we all look at the end of 2020. This dog, like he's covered in fur, but he's sweating. You can just tell. And he's like, the tongue is out. Like, oh, it's fucking sheep, man. They gave me a hard go of it. They are smarter than people think. They are not sheeple. So tell people that next time you get called a sheep.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, got 7 minutes?
Yeah.
I got to tell you about the sheep.
I have a story that'll help you understand where I'm coming from.
That's right. Well, and you can't argue that either. Because once you get into an argument with somebody who's calling you a sheeple, then, just hope that they don't bring up Trump, politics, Weinstein. Just think about any like anything. They say if a person believes like one conspiracy, or if they tend to believe, because that's what it is, right? The government's trying to control you. Isn't that what it is? Like, don't wear your mask. It's a made up thing. Well, if you believe the pandemic is made up, God knows what else you believe. Like I almost have a chart. Well, then that probably means that you think of this, and this, or you might even be a flat earther. Like
yes. And what I learned a really good lesson when my friend Dale Ward. Do you know Dale?
Yes.
Calgary comedian. He was
very sick.
He was so sick. This guy is normally like a golden retriever puppy in the form of a man around the age 30. I don't know how old Dale is, but
I know, I've seen his TikToks. He's huge. Like I'm a huge fan. I
like
know he's a comedian and he's a headliner. He's a big deal. He's also a really big TikToker.
he's had some really good success. One of the he's taken his special gift of being able to grow body hair at a ridiculous rate, and he shaves patterns into his, I would say, chest hair, but it's complete torso hair, and it's funny and it's creative and it's out there. And he got COVID, and here was this man who's normally full to the brim of positive energy. He was posting things like, you guys, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it through the night. And I'm like, dude, your judgment is fucking gone right now. You don't
Yeah.
sit and wonder about that. You go to the hospital right now. If
Yeah,
you
when he posted that he was going to the hospital and he was scared, I was scared for him.
Christ on a cracker. So then I
Yeah.
hear, I see someone on social media going, hey, you guys tired being scared yet? You got the government's hand up your ass, working your mouth. And I'm like, hey, maybe you'd like to meet my friend who just about died a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how many stories does there have to be of, anti-masker passes away and their last message in the hospital is them streaming that, okay, guys, this is real and I made a mistake and I was wrong. Like how many of those stories? That's not an exception. There's
this is a conspiracy theory. We've had a long time to train all these actors and get it all down pat, right? Big long thing here, guys.
The thing is if it was a conspiracy theory, everybody that would have to be involved. And do you remember when the US tried to cover up a blowjob? Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Like they couldn't. And that was like a little stain on a dress. This is much, much bigger.
That is an excellent point. And also, you want that many people to keep a secret together? Like 2 people can't keep a secret on Twitter for more than 3 seconds. So
no, they can't. And Trump can't figure it out. Like anyway, like he would have tweeted it. Everybody would have had to been basically in bed together. All of the doctors and medical staff who all took lifetime oaths to for the better care of their patients and serving people. All of those people would have had to have been like, yeah, no, I'm in. Yeah, let's do it. Like, and no whistleblowers. There's the medical community that backs it, and then there's a few of them that don't, that have way too big of a voice because for some reason the media thinks it has to give everybody an equal voice, which is dumb. When you're going up against science and stuff, right? So that's why they end up with like Billy from Illinois going like, I was thinking about going to med school, but anyway, I'm not taking the vaccine, right? And then doctors.
What I am going to do is I'm going to let my raccoon take the vaccine. We're going to see how he does over about a week and a half, and then we're going to see if I put it in my body. But I doubt it. I like it.
My uncle brother right after dinner with the roadkill, but we're not going to take the vaccine because we don't know what's in it. No. I order from Subway and I make them hold the tomatoes because they had E. coli 17 years ago one time in a place that never made it to me. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to take the vaccine because I don't know what's in it. like your logic.
This is the thing. It comes down to values and everything else, but how much logic did we just serve up? That how can you argue with that logic? It's logic.
Yeah. It's logic. I'm going to go with the side of science. Right? I would rather
Red Rover, science calls you over.
Do you handle stress differently since like did it change you? Did you learn anything from that round in March that you're handling differently now?
I like that question, Miki. Here's what I think's happened is probably for everybody is that I've had to lean more heavily on myself to deal with myself. Whereas before, dealing with myself was a combination of me, being in my head, navel gazing, see if I'm navigating life in a way that feels joyful and right. And normally I would have friend feedback that added to that stew of happiness. And because we can't as easily, yeah, I guess, you know what? Maybe that's a gift in it. Maybe that's made me mentally more skilled.
Yeah. See how you make it through this one. Mentally more skilled.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
just keep thinking the thing that keeps me positive is that I've been this kind of person for my whole life. And I always believed the golden rule because it was in my elementary school in a great big painting on the wall.
Well, it's the golden rule is the same across.
It is. It's every religion
Yeah.
has it in one iteration or another. It's do unto others what you would have them do unto you. So
Yeah.
in my 8-year-old grade 3 brain, I was like, that fucking makes sense. But I didn't swear because I was good.
I didn't swear in my brain because God could hear me. It was a bigger deal back then.
Way bigger deal. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the way you're supposed to be. And then a pandemic came and it said, remember that stuff you thought was true? Guess what? It totally has been true the whole time. And you need to be like that even more so than you ever have. And I felt really good saying those words.
Yeah. Well, I also found that the people that were, either having a hard time or struggling were actually also even just really giving good advice. I did this whole post about anxiety and I was like, actually, I got a lot. I wonder if I'm not as smart as I think I am. Right. So I was thinking, I wonder if anybody got anything out of it. But really, I was getting a lot out of it because I would post something like that. And then like my mom would message me and be like, hey, everything good? How you holding up, kiddo?
I think my mom got worried about me because I was playing with Mod Podge and the little bits that fell off my hand formed a happy face and I posted it and I knew that she was thinking, oh, it's time. It's time to make it call.
You want to know how you get your mom to call you? Do a TikTok where you jump in a dumpster. Do it.
Tell me what you did. Exactly. Tell me what you did.
Do it. I jumped in a dumpster. That's what I did.
I have so many questions. Like, did someone give you a boost? Did you have a ladder? Did you bring a step?
I know. See, so the questions I did. I had. It was a dumpster full of mattresses, so it was fine. And I did have somebody there, so to make sure that I was able to get out of the dumpster. So,
okay, wait. How did you discern that it was full of mattresses?
Because I looked.
Okay, I thought maybe you had
I wrote it. I wrote the thing. It was actually, I wonder if I have it. Have you seen me jump in a dumpster?
No, but it's all I'm gonna do. I'm not sleeping until I do.
You know what? Hang on for 1 second, because like I said, this is going to get cut, and I don't even know if there's anybody here because I can't see anyway. So if there isn't anybody, that's fine. If not, then they can see it. So I'll show you the video.
Awesome.
If I have it.
No pressure. Just
no pressure.
I'm not even paying attention to you. I have many things I'm doing.
Oh, that one didn't go away. Okay, I'll try to do it this way. If not, then I'll just tell you about it. It'll be very exciting.
No, I'm going to be patient. Clearly, there's some sort of cross-stitch emergency I can deal with in the meantime.
I'm really good at lies. I'm so glad that you can hear me and we got that sound thing worked out. There it is.
So good.
If I have it in this section, then I will play it.
My husband's going to Tim's. He wants to know if I want anything. Do you want anything, Miki?
Oh, I want it all. Shoot, I don't have it here. I will message it to you though. I do have the TikTok that got me banned. What? I got a shadow ban for 1 month from TikTok. I couldn't post anything and have it get shown.
That's not because of the dumpster though, is it?
No, actually, here, I'll show you. It was because of this one.
Oh, excellent.
I'll see if it'll play here.
Like, all I want is a guy to choke me and then kiss me and tell me that I'm pretty. Like, I feel like that's not too much to ask for. Okay. Anyway, can I also get a large fry and a medium?
I don't care. It was worth it. It was worth it. I'm glad. I'm happy.
You are the champion.
It's a soundbite. It wasn't even my soundbite. The dumpster one was I was like it was too like happy music saying I'm going to go into the rest of 2020 with a good attitude. So I pack a bag, get in my car, go to the drive-through, order a coffee, pull up to a dumpster, throw my bags in, throw the coffee in, and then I jump in the dumpster. Amazing. So that was the whole thing. And yeah, so I was going to try to, like, it would have been any dumpster. It just happened to be that this one was full of mattresses. And I was like, it's a sign.
It's a
God
sign
wants me
move
to
in.
jump in this dumpster.
Have you moved your furniture into it yet?
No, I was.
It's a sign you should really follow through.
Yeah, well, what you should really learn something from the pandemic is that you need to have goals, set them, and accomplish them. So
you're getting it.
Yeah. Your official advice. I'll move my stuff into a dumpster. Thanks, Lori.
That TikTok is so freaking funny. I love that I got to watch it, like having never seen it before, because I did not see it coming.
No.
Did they get mad about the choke?
I don't know what it was. Like there was a couple of TikToks where they were like, oh, it promotes violence, or one they didn't really give me one. So I've had 3 violations, and that was the one that got me. I was done for a month. Yeah.
It was my friend.
I'm a different person though on that app, I think. But
well, why not? You get to be different people. We can't go on stage right now, so go on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exactly what I did. So I mean, I still get my comedy. I still get to pit myself out there and still get the rewards from that. But
exactly what we need. Yeah.
What would you say if what is your advice if if your sons or if somebody called you and they were having a really hard time dealing with, like, right now in crisis and just, racy thoughts and super anxiety, because you're a mom and moms always have really good advice. What would you tell somebody?
As a mother, the first thing I would say is you should brush your hair before you go on a live stream podcast.
Yeah, I didn't.
Role model.
No, it's good. We match. I didn't.
Like, before I answer that beautiful question seriously, I just want to say that I was really excited to talk to you tonight, but I wasn't excited about brushing hair and looking normal. So then when I had my nap and woke up and it was almost time to see you, I was like, wait a second. Live your best life, Gibbs. You don't have to brush your hair. She don't care about your hair.
No, I loved how you looked at me and went, I'm not brushing my hair. That was really there you go. It's like you said, it's getting cut down to like 20 minutes. So I will make sure that this part makes the cut.
It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. I'm gonna do for the rest.
Exactly. What's that?
I'm doing an updo for the second part.
Okay, excellent. For the second part.
Yeah. Okay, so intermission, and we're back. Hi, everybody.
Hi. You may not recognize her. This is Lori Gibbs from earlier. She just looks totally different with her hair up.
Hey guys, it's still me. You're in a safe space. I've been doing a lot of knitting needle crafts lately, and I was just wondering if this is working for you.
I think we're getting a better idea about how you're handling anxiety, Lori. It's like a window
and these
into your thought process.
A weapon if you wanted to hurt yourself.
Like, you have those, like you have that, and you have like a level like just on hand, and I'm waving around a marker for no reason.
This is I have a hashtag on Instagram because I'm cool and I'm in my 50s, and it's called #CraftHoard, and my mental health was evident in how frightening my craft area looked. And I have a before video, and I've decided that that's now my job. I get up every day and I'm going to work on the craft hoard. But what happens every day is that I get completely distracted and I start playing with glitter or knitting needles. And so I'm making progress at about the speed of the pandemic.
So you got another 18 months to get it together, probably thereabouts. Or at least you're on track. You're on track for like a year and a half. What is the weirdest thing that you have around you right now? Like, like you just keep grabbing stuff. I'm like, I don't like.
Well,
what is the weirdest thing?
I didn't make this, but I made this though. This is a Mondo knitting needle that I painted gold and I sparkled the end, and I'm gonna. All the lanyards that you get from events that you're at and they have good memories. Mm-hmm. So then you just take the lanyards and you hang them on this like it's a dowel, but it's like a way more fun dowel.
Why is the knitting needle that thick? Like, what would you make with it? And what would the purpose?
Something chunky, a chunky sweater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or a chunky Afghan.
All right.
You could use it for eyeliner if you want. And this is from my friend Kim.
Okay, I love that.
Yep, 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 Uh-oh. It's time to call them again. Sorry, Mom.
I think I just found my opener for this episode.
I'll open for you.
That's amazing. I love it so much.
This is me every morning.
Oh.
I should do something today.
It was a really good idea to pull comedians out of the woodwork and ask them how they were coping.
And then just ask them what's around them, and you get the answer immediately.
Yeah. So, you know, and I am just going to ask you, like, have you ever been like to the edge? Have you ever gone over the edge? Have you ever been to that point? Maybe not even necessarily during the pandemic, but have you been there?
Yes. And this time I'm going to focus.
Oh.
I'm honestly, I'm not avoiding the question. It's just so much fun to talk to a person like you.
Oh, thank you.
It really is. I'm very stoked. I had a nervous breakdown this year. I like to call it that because I find it kind of vintage. Right?
A nervous breakdown as opposed to losing. I lost my shit.
I lost my shit.
Yeah.
All those things. But I think it's kind of like Mad Men 50s. Like I would take Mummy's Little Helper and have a nervous breakdown. It was like that. And it was so dark and it was so bad. And I would wait until my husband and my son went to bed so that I could wail. And I would say cry if it was crying, but it was full body lump in my throat right now thinking about it.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I did that in my car. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that was every night for quite a while.
What brought you back from that? Like what made you start to feel better? And I'm sorry that you felt that way.
Thank you.
I'm really sorry. No.
Thank you. I always, even in the middle of it, I always know that it's there for some reason and it's there to teach me something, which is frustrating because sometimes you just want to throw yourself into the pool of emotions and just wallow. But it's like the smart part of your brain's going, actually, this is going to help you become a stronger person. You're like, can I just
anyway do this? Yeah.
Oh, I have a psychologist.
Yeah.
Who's fantastic. And I'm sorry, I just have to remember to tell you something about her later.
Okay.
She's known me since I had postpartum depression, which was my first visit to the pit, which was about 21 years ago. So
it was a revisit.
And I've had the black dog visit a few times, but this was particularly bad, and I needed to change a situation, and it was super, super scary to change it, but I did, and it hurt so much. And when I started healing from it by keeping on my meds and going to my psychologist and trying to be good at self-care, I started to feel it lifting. And now that it's been more than a few months of healing, I look back and go, oh, wow. Just that every day, just doing the next right thing. I believe that's from AA. I have never been to Alcoholics Anonymous, but I think that's one of their tenets is do the next right thing.
Yeah, which is actually funny because I quit drinking like 10 years ago, except for that like one time. And I can't remember. I think that's what it is. Their first things next, or I don't know. I wasn't very good at AA.
Maybe you'll get to do it again.
Yeah, I went to rehab more times than Lindsay Lohan. I'm good. Like I don't go there now. I don't.
You can laugh about this. I'm so scared of politically correct people that I felt anxious for a second. I'm like,
God, no. And I said that too. If I quit drinking for like 12 years, I don't want another meeting. Like, give me a psychiatrist. And actually, you know what I should say? Because the program works like 4 people, but I used it like to not drink, and now I don't drink and I don't go. So yeah. So
like obviously it's great, and I will take the advice from wherever it comes and fits directly into my soul. So when someone says to you, do the next right thing, that makes life as a huge entity ball of anxiety. It brings you to the present.
I was going to say that's a cognitive behavioral therapy. So you're thinking right now, what is the thing that I do?
Exactly. So I'm like, well, I guess I could organize these knitting needles.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're out of that, and your brain has flip switches. It's got a new cartridge because it's an old system. And then
Yeah. It's an old system. It's
I
the
got
equivalent.
here.
To me, it's the equivalent of waking up, right? Like you like wake up and you have that first 17 seconds before life hits you and you realize like what a pile of garbage is going on right now and how everything's a dumpster fire like that. I find that too. Like, so I guess, yeah, next right thing. If you're concentrate on something, you're taking yourself out of that headspace so you get to enjoy that, not dwelling for a minute.
And when you have something that won't stop showing up over and over in your brain, I was ready to cut off my left leg and sell it to have 10 minutes of not
hurting, of not thinking about it.
Yeah. And the whole time I just thought, you know what? If you can be yourself, if you can still feel good by bringing a laugh or a smile to someone, it's going to be okay. If you can do that while you're at the bottom of this pit of fucking manure, choking in it.
Where would you have been without humor? Where would you have been? Right? March, April, May, where would you have been without humor? I don't know if I would have made it.
If there was room in a psych ward, probably there. I'm not even kidding.
No, but do you want to go there? Then you get COVID.
Well,
and
right?
then overburdened hospital. Like, and what do you do too if you're freaking out? You're like, in the hospital wouldn't even be an option. You're just like, I got nothing. Yeah,
exactly. So one anxiety leads into another problem to solve that you can't. Yeah.
I found a counselor as well because I talked to my doctor about like maybe seeing a psychiatrist, and they said, well, there's a year wait. I was like,
gross.
How's that going to help anything? Like a year wait. They call you in 1 year, like, oh, thank God. I've been meaning. I have 3 questions. Like, what do you wait a year for? Like, you might be fine. You might be in word. You know what? Just keep me on the list just in case. Yeah. Let's see where I'm at.
Yeah. Hello. I've been pretty good at solving all of my own mental problems, but yeah, if anything comes up.
Yeah, I'm back to being a raging alcoholic, and guess what? I tried heroin. So I'm okay for now. But when I withdraw and get back from rehab, I'll call you again. Is it another year? Like,
yeah, like don't delete me out of your contacts is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Can I use you as an emergency client? That's what it is too. It's either emergency or it's a year. There's no like middle ground.
I know. And I'm going to put my hand up because I just had a warning that said something about your connection might be blah. Do you care?
Oh, my connection. Yeah, actually, the other thing went out, which means like my timer is over. But so I'm going to actually just wrap it up. So I'm still on, but I tried to get them to about like 40 minutes and then cut them down. But and I wish I brought up the chat and I didn't. But thank you so much for being on here. And the thing is, the best part is that if you actually don't, like if you're not in tune to your anxiety, all you have to do is 5 minutes of a setup with me and you qualify. Because
you're a hero. What would we do?
Wait, no, this is like one episode in like the last 3 weeks that I actually had kind of going on time, and it was still 5 minutes late. Her hair was brushed actually before we did the setup.
It was. I've actually been here for 4 days, and this is why it looks like this.
That's what's happening. When I post it, do you have anything going on you want to plug, or any? Do you have anything going on? Any charities you want to?
That's the funniest question. That's the closer. End it there.
Is that it?
The closer. I have.
You got nothing.
I'm going to make crafts and soup. That's what I'm going to do. I want everyone to watch me on Instagram.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm putting that too. I put a link to it. I'd be like, can you go, what are you drinking? Did you? Every time I look at you, you're holding up something different. I'd be like, okay, Lori, I'll talk to you later. You pull out a blender. Well, that's.
Hang on a second. This isn't stirred enough.
Wait, that's not level. Have you got something to make sure it's level? There you go. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you, and this level is a metaphor for life. Just go out on a laugh. You're so funny. And I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.